Hey guys, Scott from aristocob.com here, and sitting in the dark in a McDonald's parking lot. It's now a little after 1 a.m. and we're heading back from Gastonia, which is just outside of Charlotte. And maybe some other time when the wound is not so fresh, I'll tell you why we had to head back down to Gastonia. But who is we? We is me and my dad. Everybody say hi to retired Colonel Calvin Markwood. Actually, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm a civilian.
You're a civilian, yeah.
And I told my dad that I wanted to record something with him that's actually a video response to something that Jay posted last week, and knew that he was going to be in town from Denver, and wanted to share this moment with him. Now, he's currently sitting with my iPad out in front of him, which is why he looks like an angel, and I don't. And we're going to start moving down the road. But and I think I have exactly 12 minutes of memory, and I've just burned up 1 minute of that 12. So I'm going to go dark. My dad is actually going to be answering the question. So Jay's video, among other things, the one thing that stood out for me, as it did for several other people, was he made a comment. Sorry, Jay, I'm going to paraphrase you, that a number of folks took umbrage with umbrage with a B? Yeah, umbrage. There we go. And that was about some of the U.S.'s military actions over the years. And it reminded me of a conversation that my dad had, and some things that he did a couple years ago. And we were just talking about this, and I think next month when I get out to Denver, I'm going to sit down, maybe in better lighting, and have a real conversation about this topic. But I thought I'd get his quick feedback on this topic. So, Dad, take it. Starting from speaking louder.
Okay.
So, I guess the real question that I know came up in our family was from my nephew, who happens to be, is he first generation American?
No, he's third.
Third generation American. But both of his parents were from Japanese descent. And so my sister, being from you,
yes,
had two boys who are Amerasians. Can we say that?
Yeah.
And one of them came home from school and said what?
Well, he was about a junior in high school, and he made a remark that his teacher had criticized the U.S. for dropping the 2 atomic bombs on Japan during World War II.
Okay.
And I questioned Kyle, and it was all bad America was the gist of the thing. And I don't know how much Scott wants me to tell now rather than later in the month, but I took that opportunity to ask if he would get his teacher to let me go and give the class a presentation of my Vietnam combat experience. I flew the F-105 for 100 missions over North Vietnam, and I did this with the idea then of addressing this America being so evil over dropping the atomic bombs on Japan with the class. And just a quick summary of what I said was, you kids, I want you to pretend like you're President Truman. It's 1945. The war in Europe had concluded. The war in Japan against Japan had progressed to the point where America was about to invade the Japanese islands, not just the other islands in the Pacific. We pretty well worked them over. And I said, pretend like you're the president, and your staff comes in and tells you, Mr. President, if we invade Japan, at that point Japan had refused to surrender, and America was demanding an unconditional surrender at that time. And Mr. President, we're about to invade Japan, and the expectation is that if we do, there will be about 1 million American soldiers that will be lost, and up to 2 million Japanese men, women, and children will be killed in the fighting. And Mr. President, we have another option, and that is the new atomic bomb. If we were to drop it on Japan, the result would be in the neighborhood of 45,000 fatalities on one target and 65,000 fatalities on the next target. And Mr. President, what's your choice? And that was the choice that I presented to the children in the class. So it was a choice between 1 million Americans, 2 million Japanese versus 120,000 or so Japanese.
I mean, and this is war, right? I mean, it's not pretty.
It's after 4 years of American involvement in the war and 6 to 8 years of the other people involved in the war.
So, all right. So that's just a quick summary of kind of what came to my mind when I heard that comment from Jay. And Jay, I don't mean to put any words in your mouth or read more into what you said than what you said. But I think that it's easy for us to forget that there are evil people in this world who intend to do us evil, do us ill, and there has to be a response to that. And if there's not a response to it, then we end up with buildings in New York City crumbling to the ground. And so I'm happy to introduce you guys to my dad, and I think that you're going to enjoy hearing a little bit more from him next month. If you have any questions, comments, or cheap shots on this topic, by all means, feel free to leave a comment. Say goodbye, Dad.
Good night.
And tell him to visit aristocob.com.
And visit aristocob.com.
Oh, that was good.
I'm a non-smoker, that's why I can't say it.
That was so natural, too. See you guys later.
Bye.